it's very important that people have to be involved in such a situation like Darfur because it's big and it's important. And the involvement in what's going on in Darfur is what makes us better human beings. So thank you. The map, Darfur, you see that Darfur, Sudan is 1 million square miles. It's about 1/3 of the United States and surrounded by 8 countries, which makes the situation more complex. I will talk a little bit about diversity, which is supposed to be enriching a country, and that's the reason of the trouble. So Sudan have a history in Nubia. We all studied in history Egypt and Nubia and so forth. It stretched 2,500 years ago, so it has its heritage on that. Sudan it have heritage in Christianity, and Sudan as well have heritage in Islam, term of religion. So there is a diverse body of religion on that. I will not talk on detail. The Sudan have its own heritage on indigenous African religion. Also, it's very diverse in environment and its scenes. These pictures are from the Nuba Mountain that in Darfur. I took this picture while I'm an undergrad. As an undergrad in University of Sudan now, College of Fine and Applied Art, part of the curriculum is each year you have to travel to one part of the country. And I have had the opportunity to travel to Darfur. One very important thing to say about the Darfur, these are people of culture. They're extremely generous people. So we go there as students and people have us in their homes. They bring food for us and they kill cattle for us. They feed us because we just like sissy boys coming from the capital and coming to the country. So they're extremely hospitable people. The images that we see, these are very unusual images in very unusual time for them because they are people of diversity and culture. There is a culture of storytelling in Darfur, and these stories are quite beautiful. They are rich in its context and they are very magical. And lots of students like myself inspired by these stories in their artwork. So this artwork I did from Darfur. Also, the Sudan is very diverse in clothes, customs, colors, what people wear. And that's supposed to enrich the country. So the first picture from the middle of the Sudan, the one in this one, and this one from the far east. This is the Roshaida tribe. In the right, you will see a Kambala dance from the Nuba Mountain, where I have heritage in the Nuba Mountain. And in this one, you will see a Sufi man in Durman, the middle of Sudan. So also it's very diverse in how people celebrate their life, their humanity, how they communicate with what they believe in spiritually. Because dance in almost all African arts is the way of communicating, with what you believe in and to express yourself. So through body gesture, how you move is how you can really tell what you want to say. Khalid was saying things the other day about how Jamaican communicate with their body's movement. In Sudan, people do that in different cultures. Through their body movement, they can communicate with God, and they can communicate with what they believe in. Food. You travel from the north to the south. In Sudan, you will eat all kinds of food, different kind of food. People have different ways of cooking and different tastes, different ways of eating, because the environment in the north will offer certain kind of food that you will not see in Darfur, you will not see in the east, in the west. So each area that you travel in this 1 million square mile, you will eat different food. And to prepare food is such an artistic process. So the process of preparing food have a lot to do with culture, and that situation is supposed to enrich, or we're supposed to take it as part of our rich culture. How people look. You travel from the north to the south, you will meet different people. Each person will be looking different from the other person. The customs, what they wear, how they make the aesthetic value, what's beautiful. in different parts of Sudan is very different from what's beautiful in the other part of Sudan. And that very much is the reason of the crisis of Sudan. As we are flipping over these pictures, people like those pictures, people like this diversity, people like these differences, but that's not the case. The center, the mentality, the culture of the center of the Sudan doesn't like that. Hair dressing, very different. Even though there is a long history of dictatorship in Sudan, but I would like to start with Ja'far Nimeri. In 1969, he came to power through a coup. And this is where he started to get crazy. He created what they call Sharia law. And Sharia law is very complex subject matter to talk about. And in Sudan, it's such a very serious matter because you can be whipped if you are practicing your culture. This man being whipped by law for drinking a local beer. Drinking a marisa is a crime against Sharia laws. As I'm talking today, there is 2 women in Sudan facing to be stoned because both of them have been accused by adultery. And this is as I'm talking now. International organization is very involved, it's all over the internet. I encourage people to sign all kinds of petitions that's advocating for these women to be released. And it's a very complex situation. Perhaps later on we can have a conversation about that. This man is the engineer of the atrocity that is going on in Sudan. This is Hassan al-Turabi. He was working with the first dictator. I showed his picture, Ja'far Nimeri, and he is the engineer of the current regime, even though right now out of power. However, he is the mastermind of what they call it, the civil project. And the civil project is the fascist project. This is the current president, Umar Hassan al-Bashir. Under him, there is atrocities have been committed in the South of Sudan, in the Nuba Mountains, and now in Darfur. And he is the man responsible for this million of lives of Sudanese people. Now, the civil project is a project that wants to create a human being with the certain ingredients. Basically, they want everyone to believe in the same belief. So it's a project that do not appreciate and honor diversity and the differences between people. And it's militarized everyone. So 1/2 of the population have been changed to be to go and kill the other half of the population. So if you are a professor in a university, you have to go through the service, and that will get you to go to the jihad. If you are a student, you will not be able to get your degree and go out and find a job unless you did this service. This service means you can go and join Difa' al-Sha'bi, their own militias, and it means that you might be going to kill people in Darfur. You will not, under no circumstances whatsoever, get your degree unless you go through this service. Everyone in Sudan have to go through this service and have to serve to enhance and advance the agenda of the government of Sudan. And the government is very well documented, have been involved in bombing people. The South Sudan, the Nuba Mountains, and now in Darfur. Airplanes. I watched the Arabia's films called Jihad al-Jihad, which is it's a jihad by horses. And there is one old woman. She was talking about who killing them. And the interviewer asked her, these are the Janjaweed. She said, no, the Janjaweed do not have airplanes. It's the Sudanese government that have airplanes. Tribes in Africa don't have airplanes. They don't have pilots, they don't have helicopters. And it's very well documented that.